Alright, another DVD and Blu-ray update. This time I actually thought that I would not talk too much about these titles. Some of them I'll talk more about, but most of them I'm going to try to be generally pretty quick about them. But I do have, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 18 titles or so. So quite a few to get through, so let's just get started. First up we have a movie called The Way, Way Back. Pretty good cast here. Steve Carell, Toni Collette, Alison Janney, Sam Rockwell, Maya Rudolph, and you also have Amanda Peet, Rob Corddry, maybe someone I'm forgetting. I was really looking forward to watching this, and I have to say that I was kind of disappointed. I didn't feel like it stood out that much, and well, I might get some hate for this, but honestly, I wasn't really too big. I wasn't a big fan of the main actor. I didn't think he was that good. I mean, he wasn't bad, but I didn't think his character was that interesting. I kind of wish they would have picked someone else, in a way, but I feel bad about saying that. But I didn't like him that much, and I didn't really think that. Well, there are no Oscar-worthy performances in this movie. I mean, nobody really pulls off the performance of their career. I definitely liked Sam Rockwell. He was pretty good. Overall, you know, it was okay, but I definitely was actually expecting more. It is fun to see Steve Carell though in a part like this where he plays a jerk. Anyway, then we have This Is Spinal Tap, up to 11 edition. Like I said when I unboxed it, I have it on DVD in this exact same edition, but first of all, I want to see it again, and second, why not get it on Blu-ray? Also, my DVD is cracked, which I also mentioned. Anyway, yeah, still a great movie. I really enjoy it. It's a lot of fun. In some parts, I was feeling like I wasn't enjoying it as much as I did before, but when the movie was over, I felt pretty convinced that it's still a great comedy. Anyway, and something which is interesting, I mean, there are a lot of special features here, but I don't think that there are any special features where they really talk about the movie, like the Harry Shearer, Michael McKean, and Christopher Guest. They're in character. In all of these special features, they're in character, I think. And there are quite a lot of special features. There's a commentary track with them in character. There's a live performance, or also actually 2 live performances, because this also includes the return of Spinal Tap, which is kind of like a follow-up live concert with maybe some clips in between, I guess, and just various stuff. So definitely a great addition if you like the movie. Then we have Total Recall with Arnold Schwarzenegger, Ultimate Recall Edition, movie by Paul Verhoeven. Yeah, I had never seen this before, but I had been wanting to for a long time, and for me it's pretty rare that a movie, because that was the case with this one, that a movie just gets better and better as it goes by, as it progresses. But with this one, definitely it was like that, because when it started out, I was kind of hoping for it to get going. I wasn't enjoying it too much, but it did get going. Eventually I really enjoyed it. I mean, I think it really it was when they got to Mars, yeah. When I enjoyed it more, when I started enjoying it more, because everything just looked much cooler, really, and just the visuals were much better, and I don't know, just yeah, I liked it more when they got to Mars. So anyway, great movie. I really enjoyed it. Then we have a movie called Dad with Jack Lemmon, Ted Danson, Ethan Hawke, and Kevin Spacey also. Like I said when I unboxed it, if you can see here, if I'm holding it right, and if it's not blurry, if you couldn't see it, then you can look it up. But Jack Lemmon, he looks very old. He was only like 64 here, but yeah, they have made him to look older, because he was actually nominated for an Oscar for whatever it's called, makeup effects, or Anyway, this one I think it's too bad that they did what they did with it, because it starts out like a really nice movie. Jack Lemmon is great. I mean, his and his wife's don't remember. I actually don't know her name, but Jack Lemmon's wife in the movie. I hate having to say Jack Lemmon's wife every time I'm gonna mention her, but that's just how it's gonna have to be. Anyway, they in the beginning of the movie, she's the one in their relationship. I guess they're old now. They're 78, 75, 80. She's the one doing everything. Jack Lemmon has sort of forgotten how to do stuff, and I like the atmosphere there, and it's also especially then after that when Ted Danson goes home to he goes home to his parents because because Jack Lemmon's wife, there it is, she has a heart attack, and Jack Lemmon he can't really live on his own. So Ted Danson, their son, he goes to help his dad, and this is mainly where the movie gets really nice. He just teaches his dad how to do these things over again. Doing the dishes, renewing his driver's license, going grocery shopping. Maybe I don't remember if they did that, but just stuff like that. And then after that, it takes a turn where I guess something happens. Jack Lemmon gets worse or something, and after that, Jack Lemmon is great, but I feel like he overacts. Some scenes are actually even unintentionally funny at times. It just doesn't work really. It just keeps switching between. It's like it can't decide what move it wants to be in a way. I don't know. I thought that was too bad. To me, they should have kept going with that father-son relationship, sort of strained relationship. I just would have liked the movie to continue that way and just explore their relationship, and not necessarily that much more, but just to me it would have been a much nicer movie that way. Sure, maybe some stuff more than that could happen, but I don't know. Yeah, anyway. Then we have Admission, which is a really weak comedy with Tina Fey and Paul Rudd from last year. I don't know if what they were thinking really with this, because the story is very bland and very uninteresting, and I feel like maybe it didn't turn out the way they wanted it to, because I don't really understand why they would make a movie about this, because it's just not very good. That's what I think. I just didn't like it. We have South Park season 13. I think if you ask me, the show has gotten a little weaker. The episodes aren't as funny anymore. Some of these things are really funny though, but overall, just more often there are episodes which I don't care too much for. Anyway, I still love South Park, but it's still great. Let's just say that. Then we have, I'm just jumping between genres here, but I always do that. I mean, I show them like I put them, like as I watch them. Now I do it in the reverse because I pick from the top. But anyway, A Matter of Life and Death. It says Stairway to Heaven there too, and I don't know if that's a Scandinavian title or something. I have no idea why it says Stairway to Heaven. Doesn't really matter, but this is a movie by Michael Powell and Emmerich Pressburger. A very interesting movie. I'm not gonna try to explain the plot right now because it's gonna take way too long. But this was a good movie. I don't know why, but I didn't really care for how it ended. But I'd recommend you to watch this because it is very interesting. I can mention when it's from. It's pretty old. It's 1946. Actually, Richard Attenborough is in that movie, and he's still alive. I don't think he's acting anymore. I don't know what he's up to now. He must be in his early 90s maybe, but yeah. So he has had a long acting career. That's from 1947, and he's in the movie and he's still alive. Anyway, The Internship, another new comedy here, fairly new to me. It's pretty new. Vince Vaughn, Owen Wilson. I definitely enjoyed this. I mean, it's not great. It's what you expect it to be, but I found myself enjoying it definitely more than Admission. I'm comparing them because they're two new-ish comedies. Then we have a movie which I definitely enjoyed, and it went by quick, which is probably a good sign, but I felt that it was very anticlimactic in the ending, and it's Road to Perdition. This is very nicely shot, and it's kind of like, I don't know if you can call it a neo-noir at times, but it just looks very nice. But with this movie, I was expecting something big to happen, some big showdown or some big conclusion, or whatever, and it just didn't really deliver, because, like I said, it's kind of anticlimactic. Because they get to that point and then it's over really fast, and then the movie ends, and I was like, that's it, really? The movie's over? It just, I don't know, that was too bad. If they would have managed to, pull it off better there, how the movie develops in the ending, or, then I think I would have praised this more, but I definitely liked it. Not a movie that I'll watch again, I don't think, but I liked it, and Tom Hanks is always good and fun to watch. Then we have a movie which I doubt many people has heard about. It's called Whatever Happened to Harold Smith. It says here, When Punk Meet Disco. When Punk Meet, whatever. This it's an interesting movie. It takes place in the 70s, and it's about the 18-year-old Vince Vaughn, who is obsessed with the disco culture, it says here. Then one day he sort of turns and he wants to become a punk instead. He gets into this whole punk scene. And at the same time, his dad, it's clear pretty early that he has telekinetic powers, I think that's what it's called. And these sort of join together, I guess you could say. But you can watch, they sort of happen separately, but in the ending, I guess they sort of intertwine, kind of, whatever. But that's his dad on the cover. But I'd say that his son, the 18-year-old Vince Smith, is the main character, because I think he has a lot more screen time. It's a fun movie, definitely. I enjoyed this. If you can find it for a cheap price, like I did, I'd say it's worth picking up. Kind of like a quirky, oddball comedy, or whatever you want to call it. Then we have one that I really did not enjoy. Pumping Iron, documentary, or a docudrama. I think I haven't actually heard Arnold Schwarzenegger say it, but I have heard someone say that he said it. So if that person is right, then well. But he said that Arnold Schwarzenegger himself called this a docudrama rather than a documentary, because some scenes are exaggerated or completely made up. Like the story where he says that he didn't go to his father's funeral, that is made up. He actually did go to his father's funeral. And that makes me very skeptic about it. Skeptic, yeah. Because as it is, it's not very interesting. It's just bodybuilding, obviously. That I don't know what I expected. Yeah, that's what I expected, but I just thought that it would be more interesting. But then, when I hear that too, that some parts are made up, well, I kind of knew that before, but just sort of taking that into consideration, like, how would it have been without that, if they didn't make up any stuff, would it have been even less interesting? I just don't like the fact that they did that. But that's not my only problem with it. I don't know why, I just did not like it. It was just boring, honestly. Maybe it's dated. Probably it's pretty dated. Anyway. Then we have a very interesting documentary which I feel like I need to give another shot. And I'm gonna do that in the future. You can take my word on that. When, I don't know, but I'm gonna watch this again because it's very interesting, and I feel like there's more to get from this. And it's a documentary called Man with a Movie Camera, a very experimental film. It documents, it says Michael Nyman's, whatever, but he only made the score for this, a new score. It says here Dziga Vertov something. That's the guy who actually directed the film back in 1929. It's a Russian film called, it's one of these sort of genres called Soviet montage something, or city symphony. It's really about a cameraman who says somewhere, maybe it's on IMDb, but I think it says, with dazzling invention he films his city, and uses very well, just very innovative or ahead of its time techniques to edit the movie, and to, you know, he's just very creative, that guy, and they show things in a very different way too. Like I mean, you see the stuff from his angle too, but you also see things. You also see him actually filming, walking around with his camera. So in one scene, for example, it's a shot where the camera is sort of on the ground, and you see this cart or whatever it's, you know, going over the camera, and this guy, you know, walking, you know, with his legs on each side of the camera. And then after that, you see the cameraman lying on the ground with his camera, and the cart going over him, or whatever it's called. So you see first the scene in his perspective, and then you see it from the outside, like other people would see it. And they do that a few times, and they just include very interesting things, which maybe you wouldn't normally include. Anyway, I feel like I'm talking more than I planned, but that's just how it is. Crazy Stupid Love. Don't have much to say about this. I've seen this before, watched it again, enjoyed it pretty much as I did the first time. It's not a movie that you need to watch again, but I kind of just felt like watching it again, because yeah, whatever, it's fun. Hangover Part 3, by no means a great movie, but I enjoyed it. It's over the top like the other two Hangover movies, and it's just a fun ride. I don't know. It's not great, but it's a lot of fun. This one, great edition and great movie. It's up. Pixar's up. I'll show you the back here too, because I didn't do that when I unboxed it. That's a really nice back with the house there and the balloons that makes it fly. So yeah, and this is a steelbook from Savi. Yeah, I've seen this a couple times before, and I love it as much still. I'd even go as far as to say, as far as whatever the expression is, to say that it's one of my favorite movies of all time, because I enjoy it that much. It just, I'd say, even though it's not that complex, it's pretty obvious. Somehow I missed it last time, so this time I picked up on a few things which I didn't before, and that just makes it even better. And the visuals are terrific. It's like, obviously I mean, it's not supernatural really, but it's definitely bending reality a lot. You know, I mean, a house, you know, being lifted from the ground, from the foundation or whatever, I don't know, by balloons. You know, maybe that wouldn't work, and how did he steer it to the right place? All of these things. How can dogs have collars that, you know, verbalize their thought or whatever, and how can this guy be alive still? Because when Carl is a kid, he watches this guy, whatever his name is, in the movie theater. He watches this pilot guy, and 70 years later, that pilot guy is still alive, and Carl is 78, and that pilot, he must be at least 15 years older. So he has a lot of energy for a 92-year-old. But I thought about that last time too, and I was like, wow, he has to be really old, you know. But whatever, it doesn't matter. But I just feel like it's, first of all, the relationship, maybe I mentioned this, I don't remember, but the relationship between Carl and the boy, the scout, whatever his name is very, it's just beautiful, you know, when it ends, and it's just a great movie because of that. But also the visuals, as I said, and also the comedy. The comedy, I mean, it's not I don't feel like the comedy is over the top. They have definitely placed the comedy on the right place, in the right places. They've managed to decide where to put each thing to make the best out of the joke or whatever. I don't know how to explain it, but it's yeah, terrific movie. I really love this one. Then we have I watched this last night, and I probably enjoyed it more than I should. But it's what's it called in English? Welcome to Mooseport. Ray Romano, Gene Hackman. I actually did not know. I found out yesterday when I looked on IMDb that Gene Hackman, he's not acting anymore. This was his last movie, and it's from 2003. So he's not been acting in a decade, and I did not know that. And Ray Romano, he doesn't do that many movies either. I think he was recently in his 5th movie, maybe, if you don't count the Ice Age movies. And I like Ray Romano because of Everybody Loves Raymond. I love that show. Not gonna deny that. But this is about an ex-president competing against a guy who owns some shop, just a regular everyday man. Actually, I think he might be a toilet repairman, something like that. They're competing against each other to become the mayor of this one city, Mooseport, Maine. Apparently, it says here on the back. So that's the premise, and it's not much more happens, but it's a lot of fun. So I enjoyed it. If you think you would enjoy it based on liking other comedies of the sort or whatever, I think you would. It's fun. Then we have Cloud with a Chance of Meatballs, which I watched last night as well, or yesterday. I really enjoyed this first time. I remember really loving it. This time I didn't like it that much. I mean, as much. Definitely liked it, but not as much. But it's a lot of fun. Definitely. Don't really have that much more to say about it, but definitely want to see the second one. I've been wanting to see it for a long time, but it's still pretty expensive, so I'm gonna wait a little bit longer before I get it. Then last one here is to me this was a very challenging movie. I don't know why exactly, but it's called Slacker. It's by Richard Linklater, and the way this movie opens, by the way, it actually opens with Richard Linklater himself. Sort of proposes this idea to a taxi driver, which also sets the tone for the movie, I feel. And then it continues with a very cool shot with the camera sort of zooming back or going back, and then stuff happens. You know, people running around. It's just really, really well made. So I loved the beginning. I thought that I would end up loving the movie. I didn't really end up loving the movie. I think my problem with it is that a lot of these characters I can't, because it jumps between characters all the time. Like, two characters are walking down the street and they're talking, and then somebody comes from the other side and the camera starts to film them instead. And then it keeps doing that throughout the movie, and it goes through this city, you know, visiting many people's lives, and you know what they're up to, you know, everyday stuff really, and a lot of philosophy in this one too by the characters. I think I'm gonna have to watch this again. I think I would enjoy it more that time. Anyway, like I was gonna say, I think my problem with it is because you don't get to know the characters very well. I just had a hard time caring about the characters because you get so little time with each character. So it just feels like, oh, a new character, and you know, hey, I like that guy, but now there's a new character. You know, some of them I liked, but most of them I had trouble appreciating. I think the main thing was that I didn't necessarily dislike the characters. I just had a hard time focusing on what they were talking about, because I don't know, you're just thrown right into it, and I don't know if you understand what I mean, but as always I try to explain it the very best I can. But I think, yeah, that's it. I do feel like, and now when I think back on some of the scenes, I feel like it could be rewarding to watch it again. So I'm gonna do that in the future. But yeah, that's everything. I really didn't expect to talk this much this time, but I did. Yeah. All right. That's it. Thank you for watching, and don't really have any DVD and Blu-ray unboxings coming up in a while now. I don't think. I have other unboxings, a couple other ones that should come up in not too long, eventually. And there's gonna be more updates. There's gonna be a vlog thing. We'll see. But anyway, as always, I'll see you in my next video, whenever that is going to be. So thank you very much for watching, and yeah, see you later.